Na, versprochen, hier sind wir wieder. Wir rufen unser Schiffchen. Gucken wir ja hier an der Stelle, aber hat ja keiner gesehen. Ja, so ist schön. Und dann schießen wir mal hier an den anderen Dingern vorbei. Ja, ich habe das Event mittlerweile auch gemacht. Das hat einen doch ein bisschen weiter durch die ganze Map geführt als gedacht. Also es ist jetzt aufgedeckt, aber ihr seht, ich habe nicht irgendwas gemacht. Also ich bin hier nebenlang gelaufen, hier rüber, hier lang. Genau, dann hier oben hoch, hier rüber. Von hier aus habe ich mich nach hier runter teleportiert, weil der da mit dem da zusammen freigeschaltet ist. Dann hier neben rüber. Dann war hier das Event, oder ist... Nee, war das Event, ne? Ja, war muss gewesen sein, es müsste abgelaufen sein. Dann bin ich einmal hier oben, weil hier oben auch irgendwas war vom Event. Hier drüben war irgendwas vom Event. Und dann habe ich hier unten noch den Punkt geholt und hier war halt eben auch noch Event. Ne? Also das war halt eben die ganze Eventstrecke, die ich jetzt einmal gelaufen bin, aber ihr habt nicht viel verpasst. Wir haben mir die Gegend nicht wirklich angeguckt. Und wir sind uns jetzt hier von der schönen Landschaft einfach mal gemeinsam verzahlen. Jetzt hier ankern und dann abwerfen. Gucken wir mal.
After crossing all that sand and water, we finally made it! Oh, this must be Fontaine's port!
Ja, und coole Uhr da oben auch. Das hat schon was, sieht nice aus.
Everything looks so advanced in Fontaine! Paimon's heard that the industry here is extremely developed, and there are all kinds of unusual machines!
Ja, ungefähr so habe ich es mir auch vorgestellt. Es ist beeindruckender, als ich es mir vorgestellt habe. Aber wir lassen uns
Just seeing the sights as a
Erwartungen
tourist
kriegen,
is nice,
hier
but
ansetzen, ne?
maybe it would be better if we found something to do.
Ja, und das
What do you
wäre...
think?
Besuchen wir als erstes den Hydroar schon. Jetzt hieß es Reiseziel. Auf
Good
geht's.
idea! Nahida gave us loads of useful information.
Ich wiederhole die doch nochmal bitte.
Seeking out the Seven is probably still our best source for information at this point.
Genau, wir machen diese Reise, um die komische Olga da zu finden und natürlich, um nach der Wahl zu suchen. Das interessiert mich mehr
The
sehr.
more we can learn, the better. So, what do you think the Hydro Archon's like? Will we get along? Nahida said that she has a very unique personality, whatever that means. To learn about a nation's god, start with the nation's people. There seems to be some locals talking over there. Let's go see if we can join the party.
Ja, wir gehen einfach mal die Leute direkt nerven, genau. Perfekt. Das ist immer eine gute Idee, einfach die Leute auf der Gasse ansprechen.
If you ask me, it's a tragedy how things ended for him. Clearly, he was a pretty decent person.
Hier wär's gestorben.
Yeah, I didn't expect that kind of ending for him. I thought he would at least fight on a little longer for his family. I was expecting a sudden plot twist, but it's a pity that it never happened. Still, his story is quite the tearjerker.
Okay.
Excuse me. Can I help you two? I couldn't help but notice you standing here listening.
Aufmerksam, noch freundlich.
Hi. We're travelers new to Fontaine, and we had something we wanted to ask, but you seem to be really busy talking about some kind of play, so we didn't want to interrupt.
Play? Oh, no. We're talking about something that really happened. In fact, it's a case that was just heard a few days ago.
Really? Like a real trial? But the way you were talking about it and the words you used just now made it sound like some kind of story.
Well, good tales are often based on true stories, aren't they? And what you see in reality may also be someone deliberately putting on an act while harboring ulterior motives. Whether something is true or not simply isn't that important. The main thing is whether the story being acted out on the stage is splendid enough.
Okay, wie hält der Hut auf ihn? Das ist gerade die Frage, die mir durch den Kopf schießt. Also wenn ich mir den Hut so schräg auf den Kopf... Ich habe jetzt, glaube ich, gerade keinen... Nee, ich habe wahrhaftig gerade eben keinen passenden Hut hier. Außer sowas hier. ne? Oh, jetzt ist er an. Naja, wird gleich ausgehen, hoffe ich. Ja, er geht wieder aus. Naja, aber wie hältst du was? Ist denn da so ein Gesteck drin, oder?
Oh, but it looks like you're not from around here. You probably don't know that the Fontaine Court of Justice is called the Opera Epiclese, or more commonly known as just the Opera House.
Opera Epiklese. Werden da etwa episch Operetten vorgelesen? Oh Gott. Als wenn die Verhandlungen als eine Art Oper betrachtet, oder wie?
But, shouldn't court cases be treated a little more seriously than
Paimon?
that? Not to question Fontaine's way of doing things. It's just that putting someone on trial is usually a very serious thing.
No worries. Other visitors to Fontaine have wondered the same thing. You could say that we just don't want to waste the moving stories behind those cases.
Okay.
And as for your worries about whether the cases are treated with due reverence, we have the absolutely just and honorable Chief Justice Neuvillette,
Hätte.
as well as the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal, a machine created by the Archon. Between the machine and the Chief Justice, false charges and injustice are a thing of the past now.
Also das will ich nicht aussprechen. Irgendeine komische Maschine als doppelte Absicherung. Okay, eine von der Göttin des Wassers erschaffene gerichtliche Vorrichtung, das legendäre Land der Gerechtigkeit. What?
Pure trees? Is it some kind of machine, too? Oh, Paimon's curious. We should check it out if we get the chance. Wait, Paimon almost forgot to ask you our question. Do you know what we should do if we want to meet the Hydro Archon?
Genau, endlich kommen wir mal zu den
Oh,
interessanten.
that's easy. Just go to the Opera House. Lady Farina practically lives there. You could definitely say it's her biggest passion.
Okay, das ist mal einfach.
Huh. I think what they mean is that they wish to speak with the Archon personally.
War zu einfach.
In that case, I'm afraid it's going to be a tad more difficult. You'll have to make an appointment well in advance, and it'll depend on whether or not she has any time slots available.
Okay, voraus anmelden, wie geht das denn?
Huh. Is the Hydro Archon super busy taking care of official stuff? Wait, didn't you say that she's always at the Opera House?
No. Lady Farina seldom takes an interest with the nation's affairs. The reason it's difficult to make an appointment is simply because she's incredibly
Die
popular.
Influencerin oder was?
That's right. After all, she is the Archon. Though she may tend to get a little
das da?
dramatic from time to time, people can't get enough of her.
Was da?
Huh. First time Paimon's ever heard of an Archon being described that way before.
Mhm, ja, das stimmt schon. Die meisten sind eher introvertiert und wollen nicht im Rampenlicht stehen.
Wait! Paimon gets
Eventually.
now! The Hydro Archon is kinda like a big celebrity here, right?
Yeah, I suppose you could say that. Perhaps you could even say our mascot.
What?
Hang on. This is still Fontaine's Archon you're talking about.
Ja, wirklich.
You should show some more respect.
Yes, you're right. I guess I should at least try to be a little more respectful in front of visitors. Otherwise, I might get arrested and find myself face to face with Monsieur Neuvillette.
Neuvillette. Scheiße, was für ein Name.
Come on. Sure, there's a lot of
Neuvillette finde
laws
ich
here.
besser.
But nobody's going to be arrested for saying something disrespectful about the Hydro Archon.
Die Leute hier mögen auf jeden Fall den Hydra schon wirklich zu mögen. Dennoch scheint es mir ein wenig an Ehrfurcht zu fehlen. Ha?
Alright, I think we get it. Thank you! At least we now know that we can find the Hydro Archon at the Opera House.
Ja, dann?
But who knows how long making an appointment will take? Guess we could have a look around the city in the meantime.
Das ist ein Plan.
What are you looking over there for?
Das Mädchen dort drüben, sie steht dort eine ganze Weile schon alleine rum.
Huh. Maybe something's the matter. She isn't going to jump into the water, is she? Maybe we better go check on her.
Okay. Dann schauen wir mal. Preludium von Bernhirsch irgendwas. Ich mit dem Mädchen, das ins Wasser springen. Alles klar. Hallo, Fragezeichen. Oh, was ist noch eine Berühmtheit? Die 3 Fragezeichen. Ja, Wahnsinn. Alter, heute kommen wir ja richtig rum hier, hä? Wie so hinten auf den Rücken klopft. Na, wie geht's?
Hello there. Excuse me. Are you alright?
Naja, du bist jetzt hier, Paimon, also wahrscheinlich eher weniger.
Huh? Ah, I'm fine. Thanks.
Er hat ein ganz schönes Bäckchen, ne?
Oh, okay then. We just noticed that you seem to be worried about something.
About many things, actually. But there's nothing I can do but just keep my troubles to myself. I was just reminiscing about a place my brother and I would play when we were kids. It was just atop that hill over there.
Welchen?
See?
Den da oder den da?
You're pointing at the sea. Wait, are you saying that you and your brother lived in the water?
Bist du etwa eine Meerjungfrau?
No people call the waters around Fontaine a sea. It's actually just an inland lake that's filled with fresh water. And no, I can still see that hill clearly in my memories. Now, it's been completely submerged.
Ah, okay, also der.
He would skip and jump, tossing sand in the wind. The sun shone brightly, and the air was filled with the scent of the sea. But now, the water is gradually swallowing our memories. It won't be long before it swallows us.
Sorry. Paimon doesn't really get what you mean.
Otak auch nicht, Paimon. Mach dir keinen Kopf.
Ah, I don't believe we've had the pleasure of meeting.
Der
Are you
zweite der drei
Lynette's new
Fragezeichen.
friends?
Oh, and you are?
Thanks for looking after my sister. She often comes here to reminisce about our childhood, that's all. There's no need for any concern.
Okay. Ja, da bin ich ja immer
Oh, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Linny, and this is my sister Lynette. If I had to guess, I'd say you must be travelers from abroad.
Linny und Lynette. Aha.
Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the traveler. We just arrived in Fontaine. We were just talking with your sister. Even though we didn't really get what she was saying.
Können wir ja bald ein richtiges Katzenteam aufmachen, ne?
I see. It's unusual for Lynette to be so willing to talk with anyone. In fact, she seldom speaks at all. I'm usually the only one she ever talks to.
Also die Haarfarbe ist auf jeden Fall gleich in die Augen, glaube ich auch, ne?
Oh, really? Then you two are just like us. Paimon's always the one talking for some reason.
Du sprichst die ganze Zeit für mich, Paimon. Weil du mir immer die Worte aus dem Mund stiehlst.
So that's how you think it is?
Ja, was denn sonst? Deswegen kommentiere ich ja hier immer zwischen.
I also think my brother can be too talkative at times.
Ja, Lynette, ich verstehe dich vollkommen.
Seems you were right, Paimon. We are quite similar.
Ist jetzt ein Selbstdiss? Ich glaub schon, oder? Nicht unser Problem.
So, what did Lynette mean just now when she said that the water is engulfing your memories? And that it won't be long before it engulfs you too?
Oh, that. It's from a prophecy that's been circulating in Fontaine for some time now. Well, I suppose prophecy isn't exactly the right word, because that implies a certain amount of uncertainty. There's no doubt about what's happening in Fontaine now.
Okay, was geht denn hier gerade? Genau, okay. Ohne es vorzulesen, wäre das jetzt eh meine Frage gewesen. Weil ich bin ja auch mal erst auf den Text unten konzentriert und dann auf die Antwortmöglichkeiten. Aber genau das wäre jetzt auch meine Frage. Was geht denn hier vor sich?
Where to begin?
Am besten am Anfang. Ernst. Also hier. Nee, da. Ernst. Und weiter drüben. Der?
let's put that question on hold for a minute.
Nein!
We still haven't formally greeted each other yet, have we?
Nervig, ne?
Did all the introductions earlier not count?
Eben.
Hello, traveler.
Hallo, Lune. Ja, hallo, Lune.
And hello, Paimon.
Hey! Why didn't Paimon get a handshake? You're not poking fun at Paimon, are you?
Ist euch in der Schulter angekrabbelt.
Please, don't take offense. Just consider it a sort of etiquette we have here in Fontaine when making new friends. You should remember it. It might prove useful.
Was? Handschütteln und dann an die Schulter krabbeln. Okay.
Oh, all right then. Well, Paimon's just happy to have a local friend now. By the way, we were just getting ready to go to the Opera House to meet the Hydro-Archon. Would you be able to show us the way?
So you're going to see Lady Farina? No problem at all. In fact, I was planning to go to the Opera House later myself. I'll gladly take you once I finish things here.
Okay, was beinhaltet
Please, follow me.
Oder so, von mir aus. Wir folgen den beiden einfach mal. Wobei ich ja auch mit der Beinbekleidung nicht unbedingt rausgehen würde, aber es ist okay. Jedem das seine, ne? Ja, wir laufen ja viel was. Kommen wir hinterher, aber bleiben wir stehen, wir rennen den einfach direkt ins Kreuz.
You said you were going to see Lady Farina? Well, it seems Lady Farina has come to see you.
Ui. Okay. Was läuft hier gerade? Das ist der A schon? Oder ist das der A schon?
So, she's the Hydro-Archon? But how did she know we were looking for her?
Wer ist denn jetzt das Maskottchen? Hier sind zu viele Leute gerade rausgekommen.
My dear people, rich and poor, those with cup in hand and those with nothing at all, raise your glasses in celebration. If you don't have one, then just raise your hand in lieu.
Okay. Uhu. Uhuhu.
As you can all see, two unfamiliar travelers have arrived in our nation. Come, let us make a toast in honor of this traveler and his companion, who have journeyed here from distant lands.
Ja, hallo, hallo. Lasst gern Follow auf meinem Kanal, dann Rothak LP, Twitch TV oder auf YouTube. Gerne mal auch ein Abo da lassen, ne? Also danke, hi Leute, hi, schön.
Is she talking about us?
Ah ja, jeder spricht von uns, ne? Also jetzt mal. Keiner scheint hier ein Glas zu halten. Ja, woher denn auch?
I've long heard of the turmoil and chaos you left in your wake as you visited other nations. But I welcome you nevertheless.
Ja,
No,
cool.
I have come to receive you personally.
Wahnsinn. Was ist denn mit deinem Auge da passiert? Huh?
Fear is for insignificant cowards. I am a god, and I will never entertain the notion of such meaningless wariness. You can be rest assured, I see clearly your sincerity.
Okay, cool.
Of course, seeking an audience with me is the most sensible thing to do. It will allow you to truly behold my power and witness my authority. Intelligent people always gather under the correct banner.
Ja, wir wollen ja echt nur Informationen haben, ne?
I, Focalor, hereby welcome you to the nation of Hydro and acknowledge the value and significance of your trip. Now, you may rejoice in this.
Okay, den Arschan zu finden war wirklich einfach dieses Mal.
Yeah, Paimon still can't believe it. Feels like we've only been here for a few minutes.
Schon länger, ne? Aber ja.
But the Hydro Archon's entrance was, how should Paimon describe it? A little over the top? Miss Hydro Archon? How did you know we were coming?
Paimon, die richtigen Fragen, falls wir auf Rang limitiert sind, ist das schon Bullshit. Das ist eine Gottheit. Natürlich weiß die, wer wo wann hinkommt.
I see. As Outlanders, you inevitably lack even some of the most basic understanding. Don't forget that even the gods can be divided into the mediocre and the excellent. I suppose it's only natural for you to be awestruck by my abilities.
Okay, also engstirnig, spießbürgerig und auch so recht kleinlich philisterhaft. Interessant. Also tituliert sie uns jetzt eigentlich gerade als Kleingeister, aber denkt nicht, dass wir Google haben. Entschuldigung, ja, aber es muss jetzt gerade mal sein. Ich hasse Fontaine jetzt schon. Auf der einen Seite, Fontaine geht mir eh schon auf den Sack hier, auch schon seit dieser komischen Schmiede damals in Azuma. Dieses Gebabbel von denen, dieses ewige Gebabbel und Philosophieren und Erklären von Sachen, die mich null interessieren.
You had best stop and consider. Do you really have the noble qualities and etiquette necessary to communicate with a god? All it takes is a flick of my finger for me to know everything about you.
Ja, dann mach das doch mal und teile es uns am besten mit. Alles über die komische Schwester und was hier allgemein in der Welt abgeht. Über diese himmlische Ordnung. Mit Gottheiten kommunizieren. Zhongli, Venti, Raiden, Aida. Waren die 4, ja. Also, da haben wir schon ein bisschen Erfahrung. Also, geht mir jetzt schon auf den Sack. Also von der Umgebung her echt hübsch, aber also ich habe es selbst ja nicht gesehen, ne? Aber von den Charakteren.
Whoa, talk about sounding high and mighty.
Und betonten Status schon. Ja.
Oh? What's with these looks? Perhaps the welcoming ceremony still isn't enough? What else should I say then?
Is she waiting for us to start talking?
Wow, I didn't expect to see Lady Farina here. What a surprise! Wait, does this mean they're the legendary blonde traveler? How did I not notice before?
Hey, what's all the commotion? Oh, is that Lady Farina? Is there some kind of drama going on?
Of course! That's the blonde traveler. The one all those stories are about. Lady Farina came here to personally see him. Oh, I bet this is gonna be the duel of the century.
Oh, I've got to see this. I knew Lady Farina would never disappoint.
Fahren die auf diese Arroganz so ab?
Yes, but don't get too excited now. My dear believers and spectators alike tend to get quite rowdy, and despite the noise, I've come to tolerate all their ruckus. You may consider this my reward to all of you. I have determined that there will be an epic duel between myself and this traveler from another land, just as you were hoping to see.
Okay.
Now she wants to fight? Aren't we getting a little ahead of ourselves?
Duelle mit Erschonten kenne ich ja schon. Ja, dann zeig mir mal, was du kannst. hat eigentlich dieses Billo-Schwert? Das ist das Coole von der Playstation.
Are you not afraid? Might I remind you that this is a duel against the divine?
Ja und?
What are you trying to do, traveler? Provoking a god in front of her people?
Stand down, Clorent.
Ja,
I admire his
Pauline.
bravery. Few have the courage to draw their sword against a god. He is obviously a true warrior.
Naja, hat sie gleich wieder verschwinden lassen. Ne?
Unfortunately, people nowadays only crave to be thrilled, and a mere duel will not slake their thirst for excitement.
Huh. Yeah, she's right. Just a duel wouldn't be all that interesting.
On Araneus, criminals are always requesting duels to defend their honor. I'm getting a bit old, to tell the truth.
You see, then as the god of justice, I shall face this traveler in another kind of duel. A duel in court!
Und ich denn? Hä? What? Ich habe gar nichts gemacht. Guck mal, wer hat der denn ins Hirn geschissen?
All right. Now that'll be worth seeing.
Euch allen ins Hirn geschissen? Okay, die Göttin, ja, aber...
Right. This is Fontaine, after all. It's such a grand opera house, it would be a pity not to use it.
Why do you care so much about the crowd's reactions? Seems you've spent a little too much time in the opera house.
Ich meine, die Reaktion der Zuschauer ist schon viel wert, ne? Auf Kommentare eingehen und selber Präsenz sein. Ne? So Paimon, glaub mir, Reaktionen der Zuschauer sind sehr, sehr viel wert. Weiß sie nicht, Leute, bitte entschuldigt sie. Ne? Also, Zeit ist ja was abgeht.
Besides, how exactly do you plan to have a duel in court? You mean you're going to put us on trial?
Ja, wir haben uns ja kein Verbrechen schuldig gemacht. Wir sind doch gerade erst hier angekommen.
Oh, we have reason to put you on trial. It's obvious, isn't it?
Mit deiner Arroganz.
According to Fontaine law, no one is permitted to release any flying objects within Fontaine city limits during the first 3 days of each month. You are clearly guilty of violating this law, no?
Naja, um es genau zu sehen. Ja, doch, hab ich schon verbrochen.
Oh, so that's what they've done wrong. That's our Lady Farina. No one knows the laws of Fontaine like she does.
Scheißland.
You call that obvious? What kind of law is that? Wait, flying object?
Oh.
You mean Paimon?
Precisely! Now, if you two have no objections, then in the name of the Hydro Archon, I order your arrest.
Okay, cool.
My apologies, Lady Farina. I don't mean to spoil the fun, but if you would allow me to interject, I don't think that Paimon here meets the definition of a flying object.
Herzfressmaschine.
You tell her, Linny! Finally someone who's not crazy. How could anyone call Paimon a flying object?
Ah, great magician Linny,
fly.
my beloved citizen. I'll permit you to object, but how exactly do you plan to prove your claim?
As a magician who just rained on your parade, I naturally should shoulder the responsibility of saving the show. So, with such an audience gathered here, allow me to perform a trick for everyone.
Klatsch, das war ein Schnipsen.
Ta-da!
What's that on Paimon's back? Hey, when did Linny do that?
Moment, als... Was? Aha. Hat sich schon irgendeine Verbindung
There.
gemacht oder was?
As you can all clearly see, Paimon should be classified as, well, something like a balloon. This rope has been in the traveler's hand all along. It was just that no one could see it before.
Huh? You call that magic? You've got to be joking.
I thought it was pretty good. Nice one.
Huh. I'm not sure what to think. It seems Lady Farina's charges no longer hold water.
Bam, badam, bam.
Amusing. Very amusing, Linny. Just the sort of unexpected twist that I enjoy. With you here, today's performance can finally be called complete.
Und so durch abgedreht, einfach weil ich schon wieder gut finde, ne?
Performance? You see all this as a performance?
In which case, consider the matter of your trial resolved. The god of justice will not bring charges against an innocent person. But when there are valid grounds, I will not only judge travelers from abroad,
Sondern?
but even the gods of other lands.
War schon klar, dass das Jean-Lee dich einfach kalt machen würde.
I look forward to seeing your upcoming performance at the Opera House, Mr. Linny and Miss Lynette. That's enough for now. Toodaloo!
Ja, tüdelü. Du wolltest Fragen beantworten. Nein. Ich mag das
Just
Kaffee.
like that! She's gone! Well, that's the most unpredictable Archon Paimon's ever seen. You never even had a chance to ask her anything. But that's a problem for future Paimon. That whole scene just now was really...
Naja. Vielen Dank auf jeden Fall, Linné. Du wusstest schon, dass es so ablaufen würde, oder?
Don't mention it. I just happened to remember that there was such a law, so I did a little preparation, just in case. I didn't think it would actually come in handy. So, now do you see what kind of god Lady Farina is?
She can be a bit confusing at
Jetzt, ja.
times, but she is still amenable to reason.
Ja, aber es war gerade schon irgendwie verwirrend, ne? Und ihr meint wirklich, dass das vernünftig war? Nö, ist verwirrend, die Alte.
Anyway, Paimon had no idea you were a magician, Linny. It sounded like you'll be performing at the Opera House, right?
I just know a few simple tricks I use to make a living. Lynette is my assistant.
Aha.
It will actually be my first time performing on the most prestigious stage in Fontaine, the Opera House.
But isn't the Opera House where criminal trials are held in Fontaine?
Ja, scheinbar ja irgendwie
When
alles,
there are
ne?
no public trials being held, the Opera House hosts a variety of other performances. To the people of Fontaine, the line between a trial and a performance can be a little blurred.
Ja, irgendwie ist ja alles nur wie ein schlechtes Stück, ne?
And speaking of performances, I would be remiss to forego this opportunity gifted by fate. Might I invite the two of you to see my performance?
Wenn's sein
My
muss.
brother's always excited to make new friends.
Oh, sure. We don't really have anything to do now, and we wanted to go to the Opera House anyway.
Ja, mir wäre es auch ein besonderes Vergnügen. Es wäre vielleicht ganz interessant, gerade bei der komischen Drüller da oben, doch mal sich ein bisschen über die Gesetze zu informieren, ne?
Splendid. In that case, why don't we go together? I'll show you the way. I just have something to take care of first.
Zöger nicht, mir Bescheid zu geben, wenn du Hilfe brauchen solltest.
You
ne? Wir
really
machen
mean
das
it? Then I'll take you up on your offer.
Dann höre ich es direkt. Okay, jetzt haben wir es, ja.
This is a magical item known as a magic pocket. Perhaps you can help me distribute them to the people here.
Hey.
Huh? What are they going to use it for?
About that. You asked me before about the prophecy, right? Let me start by telling you a little more about what it entails.
Bitteschön, erklär's mir.
I'm not sure exactly when it began, but a prophecy has been circulating around Fontaine.
Welche denn bitte?
It says that every person in Fontaine is born with sin. No matter how the nation of justice holds trial after trial, this sin cannot be absolved. Until one day, the water levels in Fontaine will rise, and the sinful people will slowly be drowned. In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
That sounds pretty
Geil.
gloomy. Why are people in Fontaine born with sin? What is that supposed to mean?
Nicht das hörst du davon raus? Ich höre davon raus, dass die Alte erstmal alle Menschen wegtilgen und ertränken will, damit sie dann alleine auf ihrem Thron heulen kann.
There are lots of guesses. Some say that the ancestors of Fontaine stole the power of the seas and stirred its wrath. Others say that the people of Fontaine never heeded the first Hydro Archon's warnings and offended Celestia. But here in Fontaine, evidence is what matters. There hasn't been concrete evidence for any of these claims, so they can only be regarded as conjecture.
If even the people in Fontaine don't know what sin they committed, wouldn't it be better just to ignore the prophecy completely? Why bother feeling guilty all the time?
That's exactly what the people did at first. But in the last few years, the water levels in Fontaine have actually started rising.
Okay, und das Meer beflutet also nach und nach diese Erinnerung. Danach sind wir an der Reihe. Also ihr, nicht wir.
Many places have already been completely submerged, and now lie beneath the sea.
Bei Horizon Forbidden West, oder? Das wird geil. Der Wasserstädte. Im Seen und im Meer. Geil.
Many people carry on with their lives as before and shrug it off as a natural phenomenon. But my family and I think that the people of Fontaine shouldn't ignore the possibility, which would end up sentencing them to death. We hope that at least the people who reside near the waterfront can move away before it's too late. So, we've started distributing magic pockets to them.
Okay, jetzt wird er ziemlich krass werden, glaube ich.
As a magical item, these magic pockets have astonishing capacity. I'm sure they will come in handy when people are moving their belongings.
Dann hätte ich auch jetzt so 2, 3 von denen.
Oh, Paimon gets it. It's like preparing for a rainy day.
Naja, wenn die
This is
Katastrophe
more
war ist.
than a bit of rain.
Geil. Oh, wo kommt denn der gerade her? Guck, schon wieder, weil die so viel reden. Wenn die Prophezeiung wahr ist, lässt sich diese Katastrophe aber nicht wirklich abwenden, oder?
Perhaps only absolute power could ever contend with such a catastrophe. But who knows? We're just tiny specks in the grand scheme of things.
Ja.
Now, if you'd like to help, then please give these magic pockets to anyone nearby. Be sure to convince them to take it, regardless of what they say.
Okay.